I'm Kaneki Cosplay, and today, as you may guess, we're going to be making Kaneki Ken's mask from Tokyo Ghoul. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your own pattern as well as the actual mask. But, however, if you are lazy or you don't have the time to make the pattern or you'd like to support me as a cosplayer, then I made a digital one, which is available on my Etsy shop, and you can check the link in the description below. Now that we have all of this out of the way, let's move on to crafting, shall we? Start out with wrapping yourself with some cling film and duct tape, but be careful not to do it too tight because you're not going to be able to breathe. After that, trace out the basic shape of the mask with the Sharpie. You can see how I did it here. The reason I did just one half of the mask is because I'm going to flip the pattern over to make it perfectly symmetrical later. After you're happy with the shape, carefully cut yourself free. After that, cut out the pieces and lay them flat to see what your pattern looks like. But before you do it, don't forget to put the registration marks because you're going to be needing them later while gluing the pieces together. Now transfer your pattern onto some paper and trace it out on EVA foam. Don't forget to put the registration marks because, as I already said, they are really important. I'm using 3mm EVA foam because in my opinion it looks better on a mask of that type. After you're done tracing, cut the pieces out with scissors or a craft knife. Then, use contact cement to glue everything together. Apply glue on each side, wait for it to get tacky and connect the pieces carefully. Here you can see that I use a small piece of EVA foam to take the extra glue away. That prevents my work from getting messy. Follow the registration marks and use your thumb as a guide so that you don't have a big seam that you need to cover up later. This is how the mask should look like at this point. Now let's make it more Tokyo Ghoul-like by adding the teeth and the attaching straps. To do that, I first took the base of the mask and traced the mouth onto paper. Then I added seam allowance on the outside and separated the shape into two. To make the straps, I experimented with some paper strips and attached them onto the base of the mask with duct tape to see what it looks like. Here you can see the final taste of the teeth and the attaching straps. Since I was happy with how it looked like, I took off the paper and traced the pieces onto 3mm EVA foam. Then I used my scissors to cut everything out. And thanks to the magic of video editing, you don't get to sit here all day watching me how I cut every single piece. Instead, you get a time lapse. Here's a quick shot of all the pieces so far. Now let's cover some imperfections by dremeling the seams down. I also dremeled the edge of the jawline to make it round. The next step is heat sealing. Use your heat gun to heat up the material till it gets softer and smoother. Then use your hands to bring the foam into shape while it's still warm. A quick note: be careful because foam can get really hot. Here you can see how much smoother it looks after the heat gun. Repeat these steps for every individual piece. To make additional detail to the eye patch, Use your craft knife to make cuts near the edge, but don't cut all the way through. Then use your heat gun again to heat the foam. That way the cuts will open and you will have a nice line all around the edge. After everything is nice and shaped, join the pieces together using contact cement. I then used my soldering iron to add some more detail. I also used cheap nail crystals to imitate the caps of the mask. To completely cover up the seams, use quick seal. I used water to smooth out the material. After everything is nice and dry, use Plastidip to prime it. Plastidip is toxic, so better go outside and wear a mask. I needed 3 layers of primer to achieve this look. Time to add some more detail. I used a small brush and white acrylic paint to add highlights all over the mask. Moving on to the teeth. Before I start explaining how I did them, I just want to say that there are a lot of different techniques, and this is just my way. So I started out with cutting a lot of little pieces out of EVA foam that were shaped like little teeth. Then I dremeled down the edges to make them round. This took me way too long, so if you want to save time, you could simply use foam clay. I then took the mouthpiece and cut a hole big enough for the zipper to go in. The hole I also used for a guide on where to put the little teeth. The pieces were so tiny that it was hard for me to use my fingers, so I used tweezers instead. After I was sure where to put each and every piece, I used contact cement to glue everything together. This took way too long, so we're just going to skip to the part with the priming. Again, I just used Plastidip. And here's the mouthpiece ready for paint. For that, I used white and red acrylic paints, and I needed just about 3 layers to achieve the saturation that I wanted. Mouthpiece is almost done, but before we add the zipper, let's make the bolts on the sides of Kaneki's neck. Here's a quick explanation how. First, trace 2 circles onto 3mm EVA foam and cut them out. Then cut a long foam strip about an inch wide and glue it on the edge of each circle with contact cement. I'm showing you how to do it here. I then added some additional detail with my soldering iron, heat sealed it, and painted it silver. Now that we have the bolts, let's go back to the zipper. Apply hot glue on both sides of the hole on the back of the mouthpiece. Then glue the zipper on as I'm showing you right here. After the zipper is stuck to the foam, cut out the excess with the scissors. Now, glue the mouthpiece on the mask just like that. To actually put on the mask, I glued Velcro on the end of every strap. And now the only thing that's left to do is to glue on the bolts. And you're done! You're ready to join the Tokyo Ghoul family.